Hi Divine Rebels, Bohemia here with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings, and today we are going to do our new moon in Virgo. Pick a card. Yes, so we are going to see what this new moon holds for you. The energies can last all the way until the next full moon in Virgo. They sometimes will work until the next new moon in the polar opposite time, or the full moon in the polar opposite time, which would be Pisces. So it depends on where it hits your chart. Really look at where it's going to occur in your personal astrology. That will really help you out to see what's going to go on in your life. New moons bring in positive new opportunities for planting the seeds of what we want to come to fruition. So they're very big for manifesting and creating things. Starting new things is very blessed under new moon energy. So we have three options here. One, we have this moon earring. It's like a pearl mother of pearl shell. It's white, but there's those little rainbow iridescences of soft purple and greens when it's in the right lighting. Number two, we have this big selenite, kind of a baseball sized selenite sphere that has a little scrying window in it where you can see through a little bit into it. And number three, we have this paper, which I usually have framed, and it is this old school, very nice, I don't know what style this is, rendition of the lunar maps. So there's two sides of the moon here that we see the lunar map on. Yeah, so that's really cool. So options 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and pick, and we'll get straight into your reading. I'm also going to do some crystal and some charm casting because both happen to make themselves available and be here. So we're going to go get into that as well. And I'm getting cozy right now. It's a very cozy reading style lately. Let me know if you like it or not. I know we're changing up things a little bit, and we're going to still be transitioning and moving things around. And right now the workroom's completely cleaned out, and we got a lot going on. And this just feels right for me. So this is what we're doing. Let me know what you think. So go ahead and pick your timestamp. Let us know down below what you think as you go along. Feel free to comment, okay, to keep a running comment going on about your reactions and how it connects with you. And we'll get started. Okay, I set that on some fabric. There we go. And 3. All right, for those of you that chose number 1 here with the little shell moon, let's see what Virgo New Moon is going to bring to you. Okay, looks like a lot of reversals. We have the Chariot reverse. The decks will be linked down below. I love this one because there's a black lion and a tawny lion on it. We have Shine reverse. Okay, there can definitely be Leos in this group. We have the 8 of Swords reverse, the 6 of Wands reverse, another Leo card. We have the World reverse, and then we have some Loteria cards, and these are from the Millennial Loteria. So this is Las Bitcoins, La Feminist, and L/La Gender Fluid, okay? So we're gonna get into this and see what does this new moon in Virgo hold for you. So there could be some delays in your career that are coming. Yes, and I can see that there could be frustration with that. We have the Chariot, the World, and the 6 of Wands reverse. Those can all say delays in career. The thing is, if that is happening for a lot of you, it's because you're not on the career path that you really want to be on, that your spirit really could shine on and feel just like emancipated on, like you can be yourself, you can be who you want, okay? So in order to get there, it's kind of like a soul planning thing for some of you, where you've put yourself in a situation that you're gonna have to fight back. There could be a lot of you, it's literally about equal pay, okay? Or it's about being able to express and be who you are from your gender or race or cultural identity, your spiritual identity. in your workplace. Okay, there could be difficulty being recognized, being able to sustain yourself, making money and be who you are fully. Even if you're like, well, you know, I make money at my job, but there could be that risk that were you to show the other side of yourself, that it would threaten your job security. And yet, when we really think about it, it shouldn't. You know, this whole idea of professionality quite often controls people's personal lives with things that shouldn't affect our budget, right? And yet there's other things that are atrocious that are pervading thoughts in society, you know, hatred and bigotry and stuff, that people will stay employed when those things come to light sometimes. So there can be a wanting to go where you're celebrated now. So if doors feel like they're closing with your career, if you feel like you're at the end of the rope and you can't do it anymore, there's really the energy to fight for your rights when it comes to your pay, when it comes to who you are, when it comes to, you know, just being able to exist. Find other ways to do things, right? And it could be, now for those of you within your own career but you're hitting setbacks, you could have difficulties until you change to something that's going to be more beneficial for you, right? So like first I did a lot of cash payments and stuff, but when I worked online more, I needed to adjust to the fact that I needed to get, like, you know, there's like CashApp and Venmo, which I'm still needing to get, and PayPal and all of that, right? There's other forms of currency, there's other ways to make money. So you're really being challenged right now that if, like, you know, the different entities, governments, employers who you might not share the same values with, were they to be brought down as we make change in the world, would you still have a career? Or even just in a practical sense, if the internet went down, would you have a stable income still? You know, it's kind of like, who is your connection base? Where are you celebrated? Where can you make sure you have actual roots? Because you have some of this fear in your root chakra, which is very understandable, but that is very much about not feeling like you have security, not feeling like there is enough to go around, and you're coming out of that, right? This new moon is in Virgo, which is a sign of day-to-day work, right? It's not long-term career like Capricorn, but it makes us focus on our jobs, our services, what's right and ethical, what is kind of fair and equal in a way. Virgo can sometimes get stuck though in just settling and wanting to hear that they do a good job. And then with Libras, where we start getting into more diplomacy. So this Virgo new moon is asking you to put a new foot forward in how you invest in yourself, and that includes not putting your energy, your work, in places where it's not going to help you. A good easy example this makes me think of is like Chick-fil-A. They are like completely homophobic, and yet people always eat there and like support them and like help them trend and stuff. And so it's like, how are we putting energy in something we don't want into a place that's going to turn around and use those things against our communities, right? Are you investing in the communities where you come from? So there's a lot of this global Capricornian ideals. We have Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn right now. That's really asking about the way you see the world. Some of you, in order to get the big picture goals, excuse a lot of things, and you might just call it an argument of politics, or you know, oh, politics makes me tired. You know, people leave comments like that about when the reading brings up something about caring for others, or paying attention to how what we do and our resources, how that affects others, right? People don't want to hear it, and they might have already clicked off. But this is saying, no, your rights are connected to the rights of others. You're thriving in your career path, you're being respected at work, you're being secure in the world is tied to the earth being secure, the earth being a safe place. And you know, it's all interconnected. You're bouncing back, helps bounce back others, unless you're doing it in a way that trods on others. So I think you guys are really being encouraged with this new moon to go in new ways that no longer diminish others, because that's where some of that, where you're feeling that. Now maybe you guys already feel that and you're like, I know that's what we're fighting against, is for, you know, equality and for respect and togetherness, and you know, everyone being able to work hard and make their own way, but it, you know, things being equal out there, and there being adequate resources and stuff for us to get the services that we need. And so the message for that is to remember also like the balance between humility and self and servitude. Some of you are being too self-sacrificing and forgetting to take care of yourself. And some of you are getting caught up now in the recognition and being the face of movements and all these kind of things. And maybe only if it's not coming out of your pocket, or if it's not something that you'll lose money on, then you'll do some fundraising, then you'll do you know, you'll get the attention. But then if you feel out of power, if you feel out of control of things, then you don't want to help, you don't want to aid others. And it's kind of more, well, this is my job, I can't put my job on the line, well, I gotta make money, well, you know, all those kind of excuses. And so the idea is to stay an ally, stay someone who's building good things, stay a good investor, because it's spiritual. Right? Financial alchemy is that spiritual alchemy as well. So staying a good investor spiritually as you are financially with where you're putting your money, okay? So a lot of money messages coming up, and career messages and goal messages. Your spirit crew really wanting to make sure that you are on the right path, because right now they're saying there's some backtracking going on. Some of you are on the wrong road. Some of you have done a U-turn or trying to, like, you know, you're hitting the gas and the wheels are spinning, you're stuck in the dirt. All right, stuck over here in the little ditch, hit a boulder, and they're saying, all right, we need to dial that back. We need you to get confidence to take on these things and get your rights and stand up for others' rights, and, you know, really get yourself secure. But we also need to pull it back on this ego stuff and the tantrums, and being willing to, you know, when you get in that space where, oh, well, you know, why should I have to give anything? Let me just find a way to get. And if they don't make it, it's their fault. They should have done it, right? So keep in mind that how you're investing in your business right now, how you're investing in your communities, is the outcome that you'll get later on. So if there's any slick stuff going on, like right now, if you only give back to people when, what I'm like, you know how some people, they're good at seeming like they're always giving back, but really they're always utilizing other people's money. Like they don't ever come out of their own pocket. You know, like people who don't like tithe in some way, which it doesn't have to be in a Christian way, but like, you know, giving back from your own money. Like you can be someone who always raises money for other things, but if you don't ever give from yourself, you're just good at getting other people to give, then there will still be part of you that doesn't feel fulfilled that in giving back, and there will still be a part of you that, yeah, that isn't connected to that. So that's kind of like the idea of this reading, is like outward demonstrative charitable work or forward movement in career versus inner work, actually moving forward and having that growth, actually giving back, actually putting energy into your community, into your career, into building yourself up, okay? So it's a time to get a closer connection to the outward manifestations, and that is a level. Sometimes we do have to start on that external level and work our way inward to learn to stand up for people, to learn to be more authentic, and we don't know how to feel it at first internally, right? And so I feel like that's going to be part of what you guys are doing, and part of your kind of like your lesson and your growth right now. New moons, of course, showing growth. Definitely you're called to be supportive to others in their gender identities, and yeah, any concerns and causes. Where are you putting your money? For instance, are we talking about oneness in the spiritual community, but do you ever go and invest in the aspects of community, like, what am I trying to say? Sorry. And then it might be difficult for y'all to talk about. Do you go and support the businesses of gender fluid people, of you know, women of color, of transgender women, etc., etc., etc.? You know what I mean? It's one thing to say, oh, I want this in the world, these are goals, hashtag goals. You guys might be hashtag goals people a lot, but do you do the work to do that? Another example is people who are body positivity, but then they'll sit there and talk shit about someone who didn't shave their legs, or somebody who doesn't want to serve you know, serve up a certain look to their partner or whatever because they don't want to wear that. And so it's kind of like, again, the external and internal needing to match up. And the more that you are helping others with that in a genuine way, the more internal fears will leave and the more internal recognition you'll receive from yourself. Because I feel like what's happening is no matter what external validation comes, you would never feel it inside. That hunger for notoriety, fame, acknowledgement, attention would always be there because you're not feeling that you're getting it in an authentic way. You're not really believing yourself in a full way, right? Virgo season here is bringing up the insecurities and fears, which is part of the sign. But when we work on things, you know, on a genuine level, and we really care and invest in others, and we just keep pushing ourselves to always go to that next level and invest in others without excuses, we then also free ourselves internally to do that same thing. We are now able to grow and thrive. And being a Pisces, I sit polar opposite Virgos, and I've raised around Virgos. Virgos always want me to be their besties. I'm always around every, you know, dated them, every form of Virgo, every placement of Virgo. I know that sign inside and out. And that is usually the key of getting to unlock Virgo, is to get them to the place where they'll stop criticizing others, because it just reflects a negativity and an insecurity and even a self-hatred within. And once you get them to that place, they start changing and opening up and getting more sensitive and vulnerable, and then they start blossoming, and you start seeing these sides of Virgo that they've been hiding because they were terrified that they couldn't, you know, withstand the criticism and scrutiny. And they have all this creativity and, you know, sweetness and love and like just so much. You know, Virgos are so talented and so deep. And so that's the energy that New Moon in Virgo is bringing to you, is this vulnerability to open up, is this a little bit of tough love to stop the external criticism or the external charade, and allow yourself to truly seek empowerment for yourself. No need to have any more false servitude, no need to do gratuitous work that you don't really connect to. Just authentically and honestly do what you can, do what you truly feel, to give back, to grow, to forward causes for yourself and others, and then work on growing that authentic feeling. Okay, does that make sense? So instead of big picture, which would be Sag, doing a big movement and then being like, okay, where's the big feeling and the big awesomeness and, you know, all the good marks I'm supposed to get? It's like, it's better to start, Virgo would say, you know, humbly, truly, and honestly. If you can only genuinely give this small amount, but you can do it with all your heart, start there. If you can genuinely accept this one little thing about yourself and know that you deserve that appreciation, start there, and then grow that genuine amount. Grow that genuine amount of yourself, and don't feel bad about that. If you have to start by asking $1 raise, $1 raise, $1 raise, start there and grow that courage within yourself and that feeling of deservingness. And then you'll understand more the people who take on the world and are like, no, we demand change, we can change the world. Okay, so, and if you're already at a bigger level, it's the same, the pureness of the energy is the same, it's just the bigger doses. So what you want to do is make sure you can do the level of it that you can achieve, that you can feel authentically, and then just work on expanding that muscle. Okay, so work on the next phase of love, the next door to open up, tear down the next wall that's keeping you from love and empowerment, that's keeping others from love and empowerment. Your goals and your values and your generosity and true care for others, your fellow human beings, and the earth, here we have a lot of earth energy, is very, very, very tied to your success on this planet and your financial stability in your root chakra. Okay, so now let's get into the crystals and charms. Let's see, close that out. It's telling me my battery's low. I'm like, you're plugged in. Okay, so first let's pull a few charms. New Moon and Virgo messages. Okay, we have some deep messages here. So communication. This is a moonstone with an titanium aura quartz. Okay, your communication, your voice, your opinion on things is way deeper than you might ever perceive that it is, okay? You might feel like no one really hears you, like the things that you spout, your ideologies don't mean anything, who listens anyways, everything's a farce, etc., etc. And this is like, no, like your voice is a big stick, all right? You have this big petition flag. Some of you work through music and communicate through music. You really affect people through your words, and you might feel like you just have this little emotional outburst and say all of this stuff, and it doesn't matter, and it does. It really, really does. You could do creative speaking and writing. You could do stand-up poetry, slam poetry, music, lyricism, so many different things, blog posts, memes, tweets. You have the ability to reach others and to change them. But the little moonstone there is saying, you know, make sure you're really saying something. Start with what is true again and pure, that you know your niche, your experience is the truth of that, and share that out. And the rest will come, okay? The rest will come for that. Okay, we have here the Black Panther. This is having the ability to be very, very connected to your spiritual wisdom, your spiritual insight, your intuitive nature, your deeper realms, okay, working in your Akashic records and in your energy field, in the spirit field. If you do anything like Reiki, deep meditation, any deep shamanic healings, this is a really good time to do so, to really get yourself, you know, shaking out everything from the deepest layer that isn't serving you. And this is a Buckeye, but because it doesn't have the lighter eye on it, it's just connected to the straight deep luck, the deep energies of the ethers of the universe, and you got both of those. And so the reason that you're getting some tough love on here is because you're somebody who's capable of bringing dramatic change to this planet. You're somebody who can connect to the old magic. Oh, this one fell out and I didn't even see it. It's the Deathly Hallows. So there can definitely be some Scorpios in this group. You can connect the bridge. Some of you are mediums. Some of you are very connected to ancestors, to those who have crossed over. You might even feel very big connections to the energy fields of missions of people who passed away. Like, for instance, like Nipsey Hussle and The Marathon Continues, or Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X. You might feel the energy field of movements that came before, that you're meant to come down here and help continue and expand forward. You might feel the energy of the loss of, you know, the trees in the Amazon, the migrants, children and families. You know, you might feel these things very intensely, and there's a reason for that. It's because you're somebody who can come and help with that shift, make sure that the losses haven't been in vain, make sure we don't repeat histories. Like, you have a huge mission. And so when they're saying you're off track, they're like, no, you got big magic and it's time to go and walk around with that big stick, right? When they say walk softly, carry a big stick, all right, you have a big spiritual energy. We have here, which one is this? Lady Guadalupe, which is, they say it's like a Mexican version of Mother Mary, but I feel like she appeared at the time that the indigenous goddess was being chased out of the land, and then suddenly a brown-skinned Mary appeared. So what I know about deities is they quite often will, if they're trying to, like, if a deity is trying to be taken away, an indigenous deity, they will often allow themselves to be hid within the face of the colonizers so that they can still be there with their people. And that's always the energy I get from her. But she's very beloved, and it helps in causes like that. She's actually the goddess of the rebellion, of standing up, you know, of those who are downtrodden, and you have that. So if you guys, I can even feel it in the reading, like not wanting to full out say it, because I'm like, okay, I'm not every reading, although we are the divine rebels and I will channel those messages, it's what I do. I know not every reading's about that, but for you guys, like, a lot of you are going to get the kick in the pants, like, get out there and take care of this planet and this world. Like, what are you doing? What else are you here for? What else are you here for? Okay. Go out there and love on people, love on humanity, love yourself. Like, you can't love yourself if you're not loving everyone else and taking care, and vice versa. Like, you are just here for a huge, big mission. And then we have the feathers, which is earn your feathers. Okay, you don't just get eagle feathers for nothing. You know, in indigenous culture, like, you're not just you don't just sit on your tail feathers and get some eagle feathers. That's not the way it works. You earn your feathers by what you do for your community, for your people. You know, what sacrifices you make, what you accomplish, what ceremonies you do, just so many different things. And so it's time for some of you to stop chasing maybe worldly goals, as they would say, and chase some real spiritual goals, or ones that have our higher conscious, our higher good in mind, because you can affect things. You know, there's changes that we've had already, as horrible as things are, and it feels like we're living in the freaking, you know, 18 whenevers or whatever here in America half the time. At the same time, there's progressions that have been made that our ancestors could have never seen the day, right? So there's both sides of the coin. And then I look over and you have the dime here, right? Heads and tails. And I'm just getting that. Some of you are always flipping, like, should I be this or should I be that? Should I be a capitalist or should I care about the environment, or whatever it is, you know? And so it's saying, no, you need to find a way to do all of it, okay? You will be protected and taken care of. Spirit is letting you know. You go out there and you be a good person and you stay on your spiritual path and you give a shit about people in the earth, we're going to take care of you. That's the only way you're going to thrive. That's the only way you're going to thrive around here. And if you're like, well, I have made tons of money, but are you thriving on the inside? So the way that you'll get both of those energies fulfilled, having what you need physically and securely, and also feeling fulfilled, is going to be when you merge those worlds, which you're already doing by coming here to this reading, okay? You're definitely protected and loved and blessed, okay? They know that it's not a easy road, your spirit crew, what you're here to do, but you have huge throat chakra energy to be heard. Like, I keep saying that, but you really can. So if you've been thinking about opening a blog and things like this and that, first I would sit with getting that you know, ego energy in the right place. Some of you need more confidence, some of you need less ego and not having it so much about yourself and your shine. It's not that you don't get it, it's doing it for the right reasons, and then the attention will come. That's the thing to remember, okay? Because I don't think, you know, some people are meant to have a bigger platform. That doesn't make someone negative because they know they have a huge energy field and they want to have an equal amount of energy come back to them. It's just having a motivating factor when, you know, that's not always a good look, right? So getting all that kind of worked out, and being in that place of really empowered and self-love, but with humility, it's going to connect, okay? It's going to connect. So next step, that's what I would do some spiritual, deep ether work with yourself, some meditations and things, connect with your deeper self. You know the messages. You don't even have to go to someone else to do that work, although you definitely could if you want, you know, someone with you. Go into some deep traditional ceremonies, but just channeling in truly beyond the logical mind, the monkey mind, the ego self, all that kind of stuff, to your true spirit connection. You do have a very good deep spiritual connection there. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing for you. Oh, we're gonna do some crystals. I forgot for a moment. I was like just getting caught up in your energy. So crystals casting. Let's see. All right. Yes, you got the bronzite. So this is always that's the stone you want to get when it's time to get off bullshit, get fully focused, refocus, and get all your ducks in order. That's the stone that will do it for you. It will absolutely do it. And it does it by just taking away the desire to be on bullshit. So it's not like, oh, I can never change. Da, 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 da. No, sometimes we just have to not want to be on bullshit anymore. Like, I've talked to some people. Have you ever done this thing where you need to eat healthy? So you keep eating the unhealthy thing till you get sick of it, and then you just don't want it anymore. So then you go and do the healthy thing. Like, sometimes life is like that. And so I feel like a lot of you are getting to that point, and that's why you came to this reading, because you were like, I'm so sick of my own damn bullshit. Like, man, just over here, messed up finances, not caring, being in apathy, not going out and doing the social justice I want. Like, what am I doing? I'm tired of me. All right, let me get it straight. Let me go do a little reading. And then you came to this. Okay, we also have fluorite, which is the power of your mind, your communication, your crown chakra coming down into that throat chakra. You using the internet, using social means. This is an Aquarian stone for good. You being empowered in your study. Some of you even want to go back to school to be a lawyer, to be somebody who could help, you know, defend oppressed peoples, or you know, negotiate wages, like do the official things that would help in the physical world, because we battle things on a spiritual kind of moral ground, but then there's also trying to make the changes in the institutions or take down those institutions simultaneously, right? So some of you are really wanting to have the focus and the study and the groundedness to go to school, to go to college, to go to those things, to become the right people in the right places, okay, to help make the changes in a physical way. And this reading very much supports it. You also got Moldavite. So again, you like, there's no excuses, group one. Forget about it. There's no excuses. There's no excuses to be inactive in this world, because you got high freaking vibe, apple pie and the alien sky. You got Moldavite there. High vibes. Deep connections. You've probably been on many different realms, star realms and stuff, spent a lot of time in the ethers. Like, your soul is one that has a lot of age on it for most of you. This is a general reading, but you know, you can be very good at creating and manifesting from just the deepest part of the universe. Like, what more? They're like, what more? We don't need to give you any more tools. Like, you're here to give the tools to everyone else. And it's not like a preaching way, or again like an ego way. It's just organically your spirit knows this. So letting yourself be in that empowerment now, and not playing the game anymore, not pretending that you're not powerful, not pretending that you're not, you know, spiritual and enlightened and here to make changes, the answer to your ancestors' prayers, all of those things. Just letting yourself be that divine, amazing spiritual being that you are, channeling in all your messages and insights from the star realms and the ancestors and everything, and doing the change on this 3D realm to make it the best that it can be. Make your life and your incarnation and the incarnations of those around you the best that it can be. Like, when we think of it like that, like, we're not really here to try to fight and compete with somebody. Like, damn, you're incarnated too, trying to be your best soul. Shoot, me too. Like, we're in this together. Like, shoot. Okay, so yes, we have agate here for grounding. You guys will have security. I do see that. Some of you are so afraid. Like, what if I go on the road? What if I start doing protests? What if I start asking for my equal pay? What if I start thinking that I deserve higher positions, and you know, something happens, I lose everything? There's going to be some shakeups. There's going to be things that seem like setbacks to others, but overall you're going to be more secure, more stable, have a better legacy, and just love from other people, a bit better spirituality. Like, I don't feel like you will regret this in the long run. It's one of those that if you don't, by the time you get back to that life recall, you know, when they say the life flashes before our eyes when we pass away, or as we start to pass away, that's our life recall. We start evaluating, shoot, I'm going out of incarnation right now. Did my soul do everything I was supposed to do, that I wanted to do? That is what you guys will regret more than anything, because you guys are very aware of the spiritual death process and all that kind of thing, and like our soul's goals and stuff. Your spirit's done this many a times, okay? You might have even been a spirit that waited to guide other spirits to cross over. Some of you might even do like death doula work, or work with people in the hospice and things of that nature. And that's why. So keep living your life. Don't be afraid. Go out there and chase it. And you can really help this realm, the people around you, your life, level up to a really good quality and bring a lot of good healing spiritual medicine, okay? So it was a really intense reading. Not at all what I was expecting, but that's how it tends to be, y'all. I promise you, whenever we get the super, super deep ones, it's usually when I'm like, okay, let's do a little cutesy reading. And Spirit's like, haha, she gonna be cute, huh? Okay. But I hope that this was good medicine for you. I mean, I trust that it is, and that it was helpful for you. Please feel free to come back to it as many times as you need to. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. Bye. All right, for those of you that chose number 2 with the Selenite Sphere, we have the Prince of Staves reversed, which is the Prince of Wands, or the Knight of Wands. We have Surrender reversed from the Oracle. We have the Magician, Four of Swords, the King of Cups, which has a lion on here. We could have Gemini, Virgo, Leo, Aries, Sag, Scorpio, or Libra on here. And we also have El Web Design, El Sushi, and El Vape from the Millennial Loteria. Okay, so what do we have? We'll also be pulling charms and crystals. So what do we have for you for new moon energy? Number 2s with the Selenite Sphere. Y'all might be chomping for the new moon or the full moon. You might be like, oh, like, you know, people who really love full moon energy, but you're like, okay, let me go and try this manifesting thing. I think a lot of you, it might be easier sometimes to just, okay, there's 2 sides. Some of you, it's easier for you guys to just cut everything off, just let things go, not have to worry about trying to build it, not have to open up and deeply sacrifice and connect. Just leave all the decisions up to other people's actions, what other people are going to decide, and then you can say, well, they didn't let go, they didn't make the right decision, they didn't, you know, take steps forward. And so I laid the groundwork, or I'm so sensitive, if they wanted to, they would have opened up, right? So it's like literally like with El Vape here, it's reminding me of like the puff puff pass. You're like, well, they didn't pass, so they weren't trying to share the good medicine, okay? So that's not my fault. With the web design. So some of you are needing to evaluate how much you interact in your social groups, how much you actually put forth with others. It's one thing to look, I'm a water sign, I'm water dominant. It's one thing to sit here and be like, oh, well, I'm so sensitive, I'm so spiritual and nice and good, whatever. I would be available if people wanted to connect, but then to never go out and connect. All right, do you ever be the one to hit someone up? Hey, let's go get sushi. Hey, you know, I like, are you active on people's social media? Do you message people back? Or do you just kind of do the little bit that needs to be done and then leave everyone on red, or let the conversation drop and not really get into deeper levels and share and communicate? I feel like right now, you and those around you want deeper communication, and if you only keep things on a superficial level, they're kind of gonna let the conversation drop. Okay, I do see a problem with reciprocity. You might just be starting to get into a few select people who will full-fledged communicate in a lot of different ways. You might be someone who you're like, okay, yeah, I want to talk about business, but I also want to share about romantic life, and I want to go and be able to have fun, and I want to be able to party, and I don't want to have to compartmentalize myself anymore. Like I always, like some people you have to be super spiritual with, but you can't. Okay, yeah, so some people you might be able to communicate with very emotionally and deeply. You know, you're over here sharing dreams, talking spiritual things, talking about the loves of your life, okay? But then you can't just go out casually and be like, hey, do you want to go grab a drink? Do you want to go, you know, smoke, sit around the fire, something chill, go grab something to eat, Friday night, catch a movie? And then some of you, it's the other way around. You have friends that you can go party any moment, kick back, have fun, chill, whatever, but you can't get into deep emotional talks about soulmates and spirit growth and the changes in the spiritual dynamics of the world. And so I feel like some of you feel a bit compartmentalized, like you have so many plates spinning, and it's not that you want to be inauthentic, it's just not knowing how to connect full-fledged with other people. Now I do see people coming in that do want to connect with you. You might already probably have them on your social media. They could be water signs, and they could be a Leo. We have Leo here, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Those energies, there could be a few Aquarians, of people who want to connect with you authentically on all levels. But in that case, you might be feeling very protective. You might be feeling like you want to have some control over your conversations because, you know, you're used to having those walls up. So it's like you want someone who will accept you in all ways, that can communicate in all ways. But then when they hit you back in a way you didn't expect, all of a sudden you're like, what? Why are they asking me to go out to eat with them? Like, we don't have that kind of conversation. We just talk about spiritual things, like, you know, or, oh, why do they just message me so casual? I'm trying to talk to them in this deep soulmate romantic way. So it's like you want to be more open, but you're compartmentalizing people also, as you're trying to get out of being compartmentalized yourself. And so that's something they're bringing to your attention so that you can have a different habit, have different habits communicating with people moving forward. I think a lot of you don't realize the power that you hold energetically in your silences, in people reading between the lines, and the messages that you send. You might be like, why do, like, at some point you just end up being on red with people, or you get tired of the relationship, the communication, and you just stop answering because maybe you feel like it's like inauthentic. But I think people always know that you have a different motivation or different energy you're pushing out of them. Like you try to make people react to you in a certain way, and when they don't, you might not know how to handle that, and so you might just evade the situation and go, you know, whatever, you got to go distract yourself, talk to someone else, go eat something, go smoke something, whatever. And so that ends up creating the feeling of either one, that they have to comply with your communication style and like the reaction you're trying to get at a gut level from them in order to communicate with you, or two, that you just, you know, you're not that interested, or that you're not that genuine. And so this could be causing some confusion and holding relationships back from stepping forward, moving forward in the most authentic way. And I feel like they really do want to, so I don't want you to get discouraged. I feel like there are very genuine people that want to connect with you in a deeper way, from business to friends, like just people who are full-fledged, you know what I mean? It makes me think of, you know, you just see people and they're just a whole little artist collective, and they do business together, they work, they party, or like Friends, the show, right? They're roommates, all different kinds of things. And I feel like you guys want to have multi-tiered relationships like that, and it is possible. Okay, so let me go here into the runes, or sorry, not the runes, the charms, and see what else we're getting for you guys' new moon message. Oop. Did one follow me? It did. Okay. This is so interesting. This is from the Loteria deck, and I put it in here. It's the influencer. So you guys can be used to controlling how other people see you, controlling your image, making people want what you want them to want, making people desire what you want them to desire. You might mix in business and finances with your time. And so when you're trying to talk to people casually, you're thinking time is money, and you're thinking of it the same way you think of being at work or clients. So there's kind of like this mix of energy that can make it difficult to separate what is social interaction and what is business interaction, and when to surrender and when you're being taken advantage of. Okay, now way up here in spirit, we do have the sandalwood protection, which loves to come out in these readings, even though we have a huge bag full of all different charms. So that's good. You have protection there. There could be the need to have a bit more grace with people who come from a different spiritual background than you. Maybe some of these people who do come to you authentically don't have the exact same way of being on a spiritual level. So what can happen is you could put people either as business people or people who are spiritual people that you can connect with, or whatever it is. And if someone doesn't come exactly the same in exactly the right way, then you close up emotionally and you don't want to hear it. You don't want to talk to them. You don't feel that their feelings are as authentic as yours or as deep as yours. This is even reminding me with the web here, it's reminding me of a star chart. So, you know, like those of us that love astrology, we don't have their astrology, we don't want to talk to them anymore, right? Like, no, I'm not messing with you, right? But then it's like, okay, if someone did that and we're like, oh, well, you're not Mormon, I'm not going to talk to you, kind of thing. We'd be like, gee, dang, like, why are you so close-minded? So we kind of have to remember that we all have our different statistics and rules and everything, right? You guys have the amulet of protection here, and it has all the glyphs of ancient Egypt and stuff, and like this protection on it. So, but this is reversed with the magician. Like, you never know, low-key, what someone believes spiritually. You never know what's being unlocked in them. So it's just like, take time to get to know people. People are on different levels. Everyone's a mixed bag. You know, maybe they came from a family that their mom was pagan, their dad was Catholic. Like, you never know a full picture. It's like, calm down, go and take a toke with somebody and get to know who they really are before you eat them up in your web, okay? Before you block them, cut them off, all right? I'm hearing that spiderweb song by Spiderwebs by No Doubt, right? I'm walking in the spiderwebs, leave a message and I'll call you back. Leaving people on red. Some of you only want to connect with people who are verified, who have big followings, who are already established. It's saying chill out now. And some of you are intimidated by people who have big followings, who are established, who are handsome, who are popular, whatever. So it's like, come on, humans are human. And the goal is relax, allow people to show you who they are before you start analyzing them. 37 million ways till Sunday. Hello, I could take some of that advice. Allow people to show you who they are. Remember, preferences and intuition saying red flag are two different things. Our preferences and red flags are not always the same thing. So some of you have been like, oh, that's a red flag. Okay, I can cut them off. I don't have to care about them. I don't have to think about how they feel. And really, it wasn't a red flag. They just didn't like one of your preferences. Like, you guys just had different preferences. So stuff like that, okay? And make sure that you don't endanger business opportunities, relationship opportunities, long-term friendship opportunities from things of that nature. Let's grab some crystals. You guys are definitely very powerful magically. Those of you doing spiritual work, even when you're sleeping, you're creating. So watch what you're training your mind to do before you go to sleep. Okay, let's see here. All right, I hope that wasn't loud downstairs. We have opalite, we have honey, calcite, we have the rune here, Feo, and we have, this one's good for business. I forget the name. I always call it the blue jean stone, which is one of its nicknames. Okay, so what we have here, it's not that there's not going to be a little bit of difficulty. I do see a little bit of difficulty, but I see you being able to make things what you want and be self-made. Opalite is a self-made stone, and a lot of people like it and choose it over other crystals, though it is a man-made crystal. So this is just like letting you know you have what it takes to make your life what you want it. You have the magician with the magic here. Okay, you have the spider. The spider can make their home anywhere they want. There's even a verse in the Bible that's like, basically, behold the spider. If they want to live in a poor person's house, they will. And if they want to live in a throne room of a king, they will. Okay, so you have the ability to connect with anybody, any type of people, any type of level. Okay, you can small talk if you want. Some of you are like, well, I can't small talk. I don't like to, or I don't want to just talk business. You can do every kind of talk there is. You have the ability to do so. You have the range. It's just a matter of if you're holding yourself down or not. And it's so funny because this is like your spirit crew being like, be humble, okay? Sit there in the 3D realm and talk to people. You're incarnated too, okay? Don't be over here high and mighty. There's a lot of good things you can call to yourself. You have only just begun to manifest what you can in the physical world, okay? With your abundance, with your finances, with your physical love relationships. You got the honey calcite. Love is looking good, but you have to surrender. Stop trying to influence and control it. You can call it to yourself. You can attract it, do sweetening magic. That's good. But forcing it, right? Trying to force what the other person's energetically thinking at the moment and all of this, that's not the best route right now, because you could just more easily just have a heart-to-heart with them. Like, the thing is, you don't need to do all that extra to force it. And honestly, a lot of you, if you would just put down the walls and talk to this person you want to talk to, they would be receptive, especially if they're a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or Leo. Okay, Aquarians, there might be a little bit of weirdness just because they're Aquarians, or like Aquarius placements, 11th house placements, but they're interested too, and they would connect with you. Yeah, so you might want to go ahead, drop a little money, go take someone out to eat, or just go out and invest in having connections with others that are not paycheck connections, that are not necessarily networking connections. Now, networking connections are good. I would say find ways to work for free, work without spending money, if that makes sense. Start there first before you invest in more things, especially if you are doing connections with others and like business deals and goals together on collaborations. Find ways to make money without spending money is the game there. I'm seeing be more practical in your spirituality, okay? A little bit like, instead of like ceremonial magic, be more folk magic now. For this transit of influence of Virgo energy. It's like, what's the day-to-day? Like, yeah, okay, you got this big altar and the high priestess and this and this and this. Okay, but day-to-day, you know, how spiritual are you in the moments and pauses throughout the day? How spiritual are you in sharing your emotional truth with others in those little off-guard moments? Like, what's your candid blue jean spiritual aspect? You know, that's what the universe, what the ethers, the ancestors, gods, goddesses want to know, is that practical, be in the 3D, let's see the works, okay? Let's see the chop wood, carry water, okay? When it's time to be humble and not fly off the handle because someone isn't, you know, following this role in our head that we created, that they should answer our text this way. Do you just be that pure-hearted spiritual person and say, actually, I was wondering if you wanted to connect because I feel connected to you and I would like to spend more time to you in the 3D world. Vape, anybody? Sushi? Sushi and chill? Sushi and vape. Okay, so yeah, just some grounded, practical, less temper, less fiery. If you're going to be using fiery, you know, cynicism, attitude, judgment, all of that, use it on something you're making. You know, I'm getting the visual of the clay, the potter making the clay, right? So that's a good time to scrutinize. That's a good time to put something under fire, right? When you're strengthening it, when you're making something constructive. But when none of that's going on and you don't want to just put things under fire just walking down the street, right? There's a time and a place. And a kiln, yes, okay? Walking down the street with a blowtorch, not so much. So some of you have been taking that approach to your love relationships, your work relationships, yourself, okay? And that's why elevate, chill out, relax, okay? You have a lot of good that wants to develop here. Just open up a little bit more emotionally. You know, utilize your protection. It's more about like protection magic, blessing yourself, sweetening things to yourself, and using all that fiery, feisty energy to go create things. Not trying to force creations with other people in relationships, but go create something physical, tangible in your own hands, okay? Go make a tarot deck. Go write a book. Go do something, all right? That's your homework in 2 weeks. I want to see something, okay? Not just something verified on Instagram, on social media that's untouchable. Yes, you can make a website if you need to do that, but make something that's going to give you a real physical result. That's something you need to see. That's something that's important to you. Energy wants to see from you. They're an earth sign, okay? Right here in your own hands, tangible. Show it. Show us. Show me. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys during this Virgo new moon, the energy you have coming up for you. Please let me know if you like this style of reading. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. Yeah. Okay, these readings are making me feel so chill, y'all. I was ready to be like more hype and stuff. And they're like, we're just gonna take it down a notch on New Moon and Virgo YouTube. Let me know if you like the decks too. I'll probably leave this little in-betweens. Do y'all watch the little in-betweens? I know some people too. Let me know if you like the little chill moments in between. Okay. For those of you that chose number 3 with the little lunar maps on it, let's see what New Moon in Virgo has for you. For your ass, okay? I have to make it a little bit fiery because the Virgo energy is so chill. We have the Fool reverse. Let's see what else we got. We have Celestial Teacher. Okay. Let me not get too fiery in front of the celestial teachers now. We have Judgment. I love Judgment in that card, in this deck. Deck's linked down below. The High Priestess reverse. Well, dang. We have the Chariot. And then from the Millennial Loteria, we have El Gluten, which is like the death kind of card. We have La Succulent and LVR, virtual reality. Wow. There's definitely Aquarians and Scorpios in this group. Pisces. Okay. Could be some Sagittarians. and some Cancers and Scorpio. I said Scorpios. Okay. Wow. So this reading, I'm like, it's already trip out. Okay, this is like what we're thinking about when we're getting these celestial readings here. You guys are still very connected to your guides. All right, very, very connected to your guides. They're like, yes, you're right. You are just a life form down here like a plant. Yes, you're right. We could all die at any moment, or you could down there. Yes, you are in a little simulation. You're figuring out this matrix. You're down here to help with judgment calls, clear karma, you know, change the fate of the world that is destroying itself. You're right. Yes, we're not gonna lie to you. Honestly, truly, that's what it do down here. Okay, you came down, you incarnated, you are this spacey spiritual energy form. Okay, it is a strange experience, we understand. But there's work to do down there, and we don't feel like you've completed it. There's, you know, many that depend on you. There's much that needs to be done down there. So some people are meant, see, some people are like, don't judge, don't judge. Well, you might not be the souls that are equipped to come down and make judgment. Some people are made to come down and make judgment calls and to change things in history and to hold people accountable, right? They say witches are born of their generation, the cries and pleas of their generation. I'm talking real magical working now, right? Real magical working is not going to let people harm, you know, and victimize people in their communities, things of that nature, stuff of that nature. And so you guys have a real calling power when it comes to your spiritual gifts. You're still learning. We're always still learning. But you have the deep ability and the call to action to be out here. We got the Chariot again. Some of you picked 1 and 3. The real call to be on your game. All right, it's like, look, we didn't tell you, we didn't get you all this equipment, your physical incarnation body, and put you into, let you get into the game, all right, being here alive on earth, for you to come and just mess up our team score. All right, no ma'am, no sir, no person. You need to accomplish some things before you die. All right, you have things that you're learning, because you're a little fool reverse, you know, we feel like a little new soul floundering around when we come down here, but you have some wisdom as well. There is a big energy about children. Okay, some of you are really meant to ferociously, and I do mean ferociously, protect children. All right, children of all kinds, free migrant children. Okay, what are we doing about that? You guys are meant to protect precious life forms, to see life as precious. Okay, and to come out here and teach and make decisions. Some of you, you're meant to do that tough magic that everyone else would villainize and say, not in my community. Not in my community. We're not having predators around here. All right, we're not having, you know, abusers around here. No, we're not. No, we're not. Okay? We're not having these people who come in and burn villages and ecosystems and hurt children and minorities or oppressed indigenous people. This is all, no. I'm down here on this earth, and I'm telling you right now, right? It's like the goddess God come back to earth. Okay, shoot, what you think Jesus was talking about returning? He was going to incarnate again, and he was going to get that whip and go back at the people in the temple. What did he say? What did Jesus do? He was a radical, right? He was like this with the whip. He said, he went in there and said, y'all are putting burdens on the people that are grievous to bear. All this bullshit over here, all this, you know, spiritual red tape. Love people, feed people, take care of people, right? Period. That's the vibe. Some people come down with big souls and they're ready to take that burden on. They're ready to say, nah, this, not that. Okay, surely not that what y'all are doing, and rid their communities of the toxicity, right? It takes a lot of accountability to be a spiritual teacher. It takes a lot of self-evaluation. All of this BS of just sitting in the 5D and not getting your hands dirty and not being accountable. And if anybody says that, you know, tries to have you look at your social justice cues, then they are negative and low vibrational. No, that's for the birds. Your spiritual teachers are saying, we want some real ones around you. Okay, we expect you to be rocking it down there. We better hear from all these evil people's outcries of damn, I would have got away with this evil tyranny if it wasn't for people who picked option number 3. Okay, you put your spiritual energy to work. Okay, you're only going to be here down here so long. All right, this is your virtual reality. How are you going to handle these things? How are you going to free people? How are you going to protect people? What are you creating? Okay, it is time to get to work. Let's look at some charms. We have this. They said, are you listening? Are you really listening to what we're saying here? Okay, we always get that sandalwood no matter where I grab. I love it. Protection. Okay, we got protection. A lot of protection for women. Okay, women and children. Anyone bearing children, parental. Sorry, little string. This is reminding me of I am the dream and the hope of the slave. Okay, we came down to right things that have been wrong. You guys got the fighting card, the freedom fighting. Unite, okay? Time to let out all of those emotions. We can feel, but if we're not doing something with it, being forward-movingly, passionate with our compassion, as I've said, our feelings ain't shit, right? They have to be doing good for ourselves and others. Otherwise, they're just sitting there stagnant water, stank-like, right? It can feel like a thorn in your side. It can literally feel like a thorn in your side, and some of you are trying to keep back from birthing into this part of yourself. You're sitting here like, damn, Bohemia, we had all those romantic readings. I thought we were done with this social justice stuff. I don't want to think about it no more. You're meant to have that ferocity, along with that sensitivity and that nurturing that you have, along with that vision that you have and that detachment. It's all meant to flow together simultaneously to help you be the full-fledged best self. Okay, you have your own goals too. Shoot, those are the points you're trying to get in your spirit realm. But there's so many. You got like 3 different things about really protecting women, feminine identified, nurturers, parents, caretakers, things of that nature. You might have dreams about this. You might have dreams about it. We might relate on that similar vibration where, since I've been a child, I've always had dreams of women who are missing and murdered come to me and show me over and over. There's a few of them that the same ones have been coming since I was young, right? And some of you have dreams like that, of freedom, of release, of unity, of taking back just the innate freedom we should all have, right? Being at peace, being celebrated. And so those dreams are for a reason. It's for a reason that when you see things that are painful, it's because you can change them. They're not just trying to put burdens on you and say, okay, but you can't do nothing about it. No, you're some of the people that can do something about it. This can be for your family, for your relationships, for the world. Okay, and when you feel that those happy dreams, and sometimes I can see some of you try to be logical and be like, no, because it's never going to change, this is the realm that has duality, blah 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 blah. You know what? No, you don't need to listen to those people. Okay, it can change. The reality is just what we all co-sign it to be in this realm. Okay, and so you, all this emotion, the sensitivity that you have, use it to build. Okay, use it to give life. Because you've been waiting to birth out something so much more pure and perfect and loving and amazing. Okay, let's see what your New Moon and Virgo messages are. That's way over there. Okay, that is the unknown rune. Okay, there's no markings on it, and it's way out in right field, way out there. We have Howlite. We have the Tangerine Aura and we have Manas. So yeah, again, it's that energy, like what brings you deep pain, what brings you sorrow, what makes you just, you know, the good that if it could even exist, you would just cry your whole existence because it would be so beautiful, the utopia you see, and the pains of the world and the things that are so difficult to be here, and to let yourself be like, no, I'm actually here, like I'm actually physically in this world and I can't just always detach. Those things are things that you can be part of co-creating and changing right here in the physical world. All right, with help and protection beyond what you can even remember. So your guides are coming down and letting you know, we're here with you. Like we are, you probably have clear audience. They're probably always talking to you. With this card here with the Fool getting all the tarot readings, they don't want you to just sit on pick of cards and not achieve what you want. Like they want you to have love and happiness, sensuality, tangerine cords, sexuality, sensuality. I'm seeing pregnancy. I'm seeing just like being just beautiful, badass. Okay, so and the dreams, they want you to achieve your dreams. They just want also for you to address the nightmares that exist and to change those. Okay, so there a lot of this reading, wow, Virgo season coming through. New moon and Virgo say, hey, I'm on the spiritual axis like Pisces. All right, don't get me twisted. I'm here to do good works in the world. I'm here to change things on a physical level in a real way. How are we doing our spirituality on the day-to-day? All right, go Virgo. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys for your message for new moon and Virgo. Yeah, just know your own power and know that you are the blip in the matrix that we need, right? You're the Neo, you are the game changer. And we have to embrace that and connect with each other on that level, okay? Yes, use all that emotion, all of that feeling that you have for empowerment and to move forward. It's like you be the thorn in the system side, okay? And fiercely protect those who deserve it. Absolutely, 100% at all costs. Because your soul's meant to. You're a very protective, spiritual, caring soul. You might have even been a guide or thought about being a spirit guide. Sorry, their energy's slowing down, so I'm just getting kind of these slower messages as they ease out of the reading. So I'm gonna go with it and pass it along. Yeah, I feel like some of you came very close to just staying and being a spirit guide yourself, because you do care about these things and you do understand how they work. And then you decided to come back down and you're like, nah, I need to be hands-on. It's making me too mad. I gotta go down there. I gotta handle these things. All right, I gotta let them know. I gotta put this knowledge on them. Shoot, you were like bragging around up there, like one incarnation. Give me one incarnation, I'll change the whole thing. Right, get that world back on track. All right, well, here you are. Show me. All right, as we said in the last reading as well. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Please let me know how this hit. I know these were some intense readings today. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you soon on another one. Bye.